What's up, everybody? So, from my understanding, one of you guys wanted me to do a video and a reaction to people having stories of how their parents stood up for them when they need them. You know, which I think I have the thing here. Let me see. It was from the UE story. Let me see. This one here. Yeah, what is the coolest way your parents have stood up for you? It's kind of a fucked up title because it should be what is the what is the best way your parents have stood up for you, not the coolest. Let's see, what is the best or what is the you know or put it this way, instead of that, it could be, has your parents ever stood up for you? Because because at the end of the day, some people, for the most part, some people would say yes and other people would say no. Me, it's more like in between. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna do a separate video. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about, I'm gonna answer the question for me as a person, and then the next video we will be reacting to people's stories on their parents standing up for them. So here's my story. So we're gonna take a backtrack, right? Because my parents did, but also my parents didn't. And I'll explain that because the way how they stood up for me was to always to stand up for yourself. Because at the end of the day, if they're no longer around with us, if they're no longer here with me, I have to stand up for myself at any cost. Point said, my dad, I looked up to him a lot because, he was more like a leader. This dude, he would go, he would work, then after work, he'll be taking care of us. Then after that, he eat. Then after that, he goes and study because he used to go to college and FIU for bachelor to get his bachelor's degree in web design. And then after that, he has to go through that all over again. All over again. And keep in mind, my mom and my dad, they're no longer together. They were divorced, long time ago. So, so it's a long story. So, not saying that, let's just put it this way. They both were single. But, when I grew up, and now they both are together with different people. So they both are, they both are seeing somebody else. So, they're no longer together. So that's just the way how it is. That's life. Things happen for a reason. So with my dad though, back to when I was saying when I grew up, when I was a kid, and that's exactly how you do it. That's, as I explained it earlier, that was his routine every day. Every single day, that was his routine. And I used to see him go through that. And not only that, sometimes on the weekend, he'll cut the grass not only for his house, but he also cut the grass for my grandparents. Or whatever that needed to be done. Whether he had to build something for my sister, or whether he had to do he had to fix something in my grandparents' house, whatever it was. My dad was doing a lot of things, okay? He was doing a lot, and he's still doing it to this very day. So, looking up to him, I wanted to be like him, but I wanted to make it my own. I wanted to be a leader just like him, but I wanted to, have my own lead, do it my way, just like he does it his way. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, when you have your vision of doing something that you want to do, you stick to it. You don't let nobody interfere or what is it that you want to do, or whether that you, or what is it that you should do or what you shouldn't do or whatever. No, you stick to your vision, and you're going to make mistakes here and there, but eventually you're still going for that path. That's how my dad was to me. Because he always stood with his vision. Like, if he feels like, if he has enough confidence to be able to proceed his goal, he would do it. No matter what, how big or how small it is, he would do it. So, and actually, I talked to him. I talked to him a lot. I talked to him here and there, and he's a big supporter of my YouTube, which I'm grateful for that. So, you know, so he didn't quite really stood up for me, but in a way he did, because he just showed me, like, you have to stand up for yourself. You still have to. You have to. If you want to be a leader, you want to be the man. You want to be a man. You gotta handle your shit. So growing up, when I was in 6th grade, I stopped asking for help from my dad and my mom, because I wanted to try to do things on my own. If I had questions, I had no problem asking questions, but I wasn't gonna ask them. I was gonna ask, like, for instance, like, if I had a homework problem, or if I had classwork problems or whatever, anything that was like related to school, I either go to the teachers or I go to the tutors, and they would, and that would be it. And that, from that point on, from there up until college, well, actually up until high school, I was doing it on my own. That was my own. That was my help. You know, because I didn't want them to keep. I don't want to keep relying on them. You know, and it's nothing against them. It's just that I wanted to do what my dad was doing, but make it my own. So you know, it was so cool. It's like we have one of those cool dads where like he's like he's like the parent version of Captain America or Superman, as you say, because he builds things, he does a lot of shit, but you know he knows what he wants, and he knows how, and what he needs to do to get where he wants to go. So so that's where I always tend to be. I always wanted to stand myself, even if I had bullies. A lot of times I never say anything. As a matter of fact, they probably my parents, my mom, my dad, they probably knew, maybe my dad, probably more my dad, my mom, not so sure. My dad probably knew that I was going through, I had, that I was gonna go through, like, people talking shit to you, whether it's my disability or whatever it can be, because none of you guys know, but I do have a quote unquote disability. I have this Down syndrome called bobblehead syndrome, and what that is more. It's more of the brain. Like there's something wrong with mentally here, that the little fluid that goes to your brain is like a little fucked up and whatever. So a lot of times when you see me move my head when I'm watching videos, it's because of that. So for years I was made fun of because of that. Because of that, I was made fun of for years, from even before school all the way to now. Well, not really now, because now it's like whatever. Because if I see it here, I have no tolerance, so I would just block you. So I don't deal with the bullshit. So anyway, here is I don't give a shit at the end of the day. So but even when I was in school, I just let it go. I just ignore it, because at the end of the day, there's nothing to fight for. There's nothing. It's nothing to this world. It is what it is. At the end of the day, those are what you call assholes. So you don't really talk to assholes. So why even bother if they start talking shit to you? Especially if they don't even know you. So so that's where I pretty much figure myself out. Just trying to see, okay, the only way that I have to defend myself is if somebody is attacking me. If they're attacking me, then I have to no choice. Which I only had gotten like maybe a couple fights throughout from elementary, high school. Last time I got into a fight was probably was probably in it was no, not senior year. I take it back. It was probably in sophomore year. Could have happened in junior year, but I let it go. But sophomore year, I believe that was the last time. And if any of my friends watched this video and was involved with that fight, know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. But I'm not gonna get into that. Maybe I'll talk about my experience and me fighting in school and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do that in a different video. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. So so then when it came to after school, I wanted to try I wanted to try even during high school and prior to that, I wanted to find exactly what is it that I wanted to do. What is my passion? What is it that I love to do? So for a while, I was going through, auto body collisions, DJs, carpentry, business, all that particular. So it took me since high school to figure out what I want to do. Then until then, it became YouTube. So, so I always wanted to try to figure out myself, just like my dad did, where he tried to figure out what is it that he needed to do, what he wanted to do, and how he take care of kids and everything else. I wanted to make that on my own. I don't need to be better than him. I don't need to be just like him, but I wanted to be like him as to a point where like I want to be the leader. So like if I have a girl or if I have kids, I want to show them what I know. I want to teach them what I know. I wanted to, see the vision that I have to, see the vision that I have put in my mind to what is it that I want to do in the future. Because eventually, I want to turn this to a business, and hopefully, knock on wood, goes into the direction the way how I want it to be. So yeah, that is pretty much how my parents stood up for me. Mainly my dad. My mom, not so much. Because as a man, you pretty much you look a lot with your dad. Especially if you've been around with your dad for a while, like you wanna like follow his footsteps, but you wanna make it on your own. So, I look up to my dad a lot than my mom, because I'm a guy, so usually guys would do guys things, and a lot of times father and son, like a father would teach their son how to do certain things, and a lot of times, sometimes it doesn't really. Sometimes when you teach them, you don't really have to explain it to them. You don't have to show them like, here, this how you cut the grass. You do it here and there. You show it, but you show it by you leading the example of how you run your life. That's what dad taught me. My dad taught me. So yeah, as you can see, I do look up to my dad a lot, and that's why I know it's off topic. But that's why I look up to YouTubers like Tyrell Magnus, the Hodgwins, Elliot Hulse. Mainly lately I've been watching is Tyrell Magnus, because he's the guy. He reminds me a little bit of my dad. Not because he's a grown man or anything like that, but because he sticks to his vision and he sticks to what he wants to do with his life. He's an actor, he's a voiceover, he's a YouTuber. He wants to be the best version of himself. He wants to be the leader. He wants to show, his girl Scarlo, or when he has kids one day, that, listen, you can achieve anything you want. All you gotta do is just find your passion, and everything takes hard work. So that's why I looked up to Tyrell Magnus, which he actually is one of the main reasons why I started YouTube. I started YouTube because, I wanted to do what he does, but make it my own, if that makes sense. So, anyway, back to this topic. Shout out to Tyrell Magnus, though. Maybe I'll put it on the hashtag here so you guys can go check him out, or I'll put it on the subscription. I'll put it on the description so that way you guys can check out his videos. He's cool, man. He's cool. As a matter of fact, hopefully, not too many people may remember this, but he did a video, Best Friend Zone. And he answered one of my questions. That question, that Q&A video that he did of how to get out of a best friend zone, woo, that was my video. He did that for me. So, woo, I remember looking back on that video, especially now, I was like, man, what the fuck I was doing with my life, man? Holy shit. You ever look back at your times in high school and you're wondering yourself, like, the fuck did I do that for? That's exactly what I was feeling. But anyway, you know, you live and you learn and you mature as you get older, you know, you learn through trial and error. So it is what it is. So yeah, he helped me out a lot. He helped me out pretty good. At that time when he helped me, I didn't quite understood it, but years later, now I do. So again, shout out to Tyrone Magnus. So anyway, back to this topic. So you can say that my dad stood up for me, but you can also say that he's more of a role model. He actually more of a, I don't know, I want to say life coach, but you can say he's more, you know, he's more like a, I wouldn't say best friend either, more like a leader. That's basically what he is to me. So, you know, hopefully one day I be as him, but make it my own. I don't need to be better than anybody because that's not what I'm about. I'm not competing with nobody. I'm only competing for myself because I want to be the best version of myself. I want to do better. I want to do, you know, I want to achieve goals, my own goals, just like my dad did, just like Tyrone Magnus did, and you know. So that's my question, Dad. If you're watching, thank you for all the support. Thank you for helping me out. Thank you for letting me watch your footsteps of how you handle yourself, how you were the leader of the family, and showing me and, you know, of course my siblings, that you can achieve anything you want. All it takes is just hard work, and you gotta stick to your passion. You know, it's like he always say to me, like, there's not a person alive that wishes that he doesn't go for the passion, because everybody does. You know, everybody do want to go for the passion. So, shout out to my dad as well. So, that's my answer to you guys. And for more of the story for you guys is, you stand up for you let your parents stood up for you. But one thing for sure, you gotta remember, you gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta make sure that you gotta stick to your vision and find out what it is that you want to do. And you gotta, when there's situations in your area, especially you're grown, you have to kind of teach yourself, just how am I gonna get out of the situation? What is the solution to my problem? You know, so I don't have to keep relying on my parents. I mean, you can ask questions here and there, and you can get advice from them. But main important thing is you find out the solution to your problem. You find a solution to the wall. You know, the wall is your problem. You find it. You find out how can you be able to break this wall and try to go to the next wall, so that way you can attack it and do the same thing you did to the other wall, which is attack it and keep moving forward, which is of course your goals. So hope I helped you guys out, and hope this does anything to you guys, maybe motivates you, I don't know, but this is just my individual question. This is my individual answer to the question of, you know, what was the coolest thing my parents ever done as far as standing up for me, or stood up for me for that matter. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Alright people, well, until next time, peace out. Oh, by the way, this is for Tyrone Magnus. 1 million subscribers. Woo!